Most people think that getting older automatically means feeling more tired, weaker, or just a little off some days. But let me ask you, what if that's not aging at all? What if that's your body trying to send you signals, quiet signals, asking for better care, better fuel, and a second chance? Today we are diving deep into the real-life stories and elderly reflections, from people who chose not to ignore those signals, people who tapped into their elderly wisdom, made small but powerful changes, and found new strength after 60. Because sometimes when you listen closely, your body whispers the most important lessons. And trust me, you don't want to miss what it's trying to say. The first sign? Chronic fatigue that a cup of coffee just can't fix. Margaret was 71 when she realized something was wrong. She had always been active, full of energy, the type of woman who could outwalk her grandkids through the city parks. But suddenly she found herself needing 3, sometimes 4 cups of coffee just to make it through the morning. At first she shrugged it off. She thought maybe it was just normal aging. Maybe she was just slowing down like everyone else. But deep inside she knew this wasn't right. So she went to her doctor and got tested. The results? Her iron and B12 levels were dangerously low. Despite her eating 3 meals a day, that was the wake-up call. Margaret learned that nutrient deficiencies are sneaky in seniors. They hide behind symptoms we write off as getting old, but they are fixable if we act early. She adjusted her diet, adding leafy greens, lentils, and lean protein. Within 2 months, her energy came roaring back. No more caffeine crushes, just real lasting vitality. Her story is a classic example of elderly wisdom in action. When something feels wrong, don't just accept it, investigate it, because senior health depends on early attention, not late apologies. Now let's move to the second sign: slow healing cuts and bruises. Richard, a 68-year-old retired mechanic from Michigan, had never thought much about nutrition. He was tough, used to minor scrapes and bumps from his garage work, but after retiring he noticed that even small nicks on his hands and arms would linger, staying raw and painful for weeks. It didn't make sense. He wasn't working long hours anymore. He wasn't under stress. Still, his body wasn't bouncing back the way it used to. A nutritionist finally explained to him that healing requires specific building blocks, like protein, vitamin C, and zinc, and that his typical coffee and toast diet wasn't cutting it. So Richard made a few changes. He started each day with a protein-rich breakfast, Greek yogurt with berries and a handful of walnuts. For lunch, he added a spinach salad with grilled chicken and a squeeze of lemon for vitamin C. It wasn't complicated and it wasn't fancy, but it made all the difference. Within a few months, his cuts healed faster, his skin looked healthier, and he even felt steadier on his feet. It's the small shifts that matter, the kind of inspiration that life lessons from the elderly keep teaching us. Your body can rebuild at any age, but you have to give it the right tools. Think about this. If your body can't heal a tiny paper cut properly, what else inside might be struggling to repair itself? What about your heart tissues, your brain cells? Healing is more than skin deep. It's a mirror into your internal health. Seniors like Richard remind us that motivation isn't about running marathons or lifting weights at 70. Sometimes it's about waking up without soreness, about feeling whole again, about giving your body quiet victories every single day. And here's something important. Ignoring these signs doesn't just cost you energy, it can cost you independence. Studies show that seniors with poor nutrition are more likely to suffer falls, memory loss, and longer recovery times from illnesses. And while the body may age naturally, rapid decline is often optional. That's not just my opinion, it's backed by decades of research in senior health and nutrition. I want to pause here and ask you, where are you watching from today? Are you tuning in from the US, maybe Canada, the UK, or somewhere else around the world? Drop it in the comments, because your story, your journey, your reflection matters here on Elderly Reflections. This community isn't just about information, it's about motivation, it's about inspiration, it's about learning from one another, passing down those precious life lessons from the elderly that too often get overlooked in today's fast-moving world. And if you're finding this helpful so far, if you're seeing little sparks of insight, or thinking about someone you love who needs to hear this, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a story that could change your life or someone else's. Because believe me, the next signs we're going to uncover are just as powerful and just as urgent. Next, we'll uncover 2 more subtle signals your body may be giving you, signals that highlight the importance of better nourishment after 60. One of them is something almost everyone overlooks until it's too late. And it could be silently stealing your brain health right now. Stay with me. Your second chance at strength and clarity might be closer than you think. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and truly studied your skin, your nails, your hair? Not out of vanity, but out of curiosity, asking your body what it's trying to tell you? Because sometimes these little external clues are louder than any words your doctor could say. We've already seen how chronic fatigue and slow healing can be your body's quiet cries for better nutrition. But that's just the beginning. Now let's dig deeper into 2 more signs. 2 that could be shaping your future in ways you haven't even realized yet. Let's start with something you might notice but easily brush off. Brittle nails and thinning hair. After 60, changes in your hair and nails are often blamed on aging. But there's more to the story. Meet Darling, a 74-year-old retired librarian from Colorado. Darling had always taken pride in her silver hair, her tiny hands, the small details that made her feel polished, graceful. But over a few years, she noticed her hair becoming limp, her nails cracking for no reason. She tried fancy shampoos, expensive creams, even salon treatments. Nothing worked until one day, while chatting with her senior health counselor, she mentioned it casually. The counselor immediately asked about her diet. Turns out, Darlene's meals were low in protein and essential fats, the very building blocks her body needed to maintain strong hair and nails. Darlene didn't need magic. She needed simple changes. A few servings of salmon per week, a sprinkle of chia seeds on her breakfast yogurt, and avocado sliced into her salads. And you know what? Within 6 months, not only did her hair regain its shine, but she said her whole body felt woken up again. That's the hidden motivation inside elderly wisdom. When you nourish yourself properly, the beauty and strength that you thought were lost can return, quietly, powerfully, in ways that even surprise you. Now let's talk about the second sign, mood swings or sudden feelings of anxiety that seem to come out of nowhere. Now, if you're over 60, you know life brings its share of emotional waves, from loss to loneliness to the challenges of slowing down. But what if part of that emotional roller coaster wasn't just mental, but nutritional? Take the story of Peter, a 69-year-old former music teacher from Ohio. Peter had always been the life of the party, the man with a joke ready, a song on his lips. But after his 68th birthday, he began noticing sharp swings in his mood. Some days he was irritable without reason. Other days he felt restless and uneasy, even when nothing was wrong. His doctor first suggested stress, maybe mild depression. But Peter wasn't convinced. He started researching and found study after study showing that nutritional deficiencies, especially low omega-3 fatty acids, B vitamins, and magnesium, can seriously impact mood regulation, particularly in seniors. So Peter made it a project. He started eating oily fish twice a week, added a B-complex vitamin under his doctor's advice, and increased foods rich in magnesium like spinach, almonds, and dark chocolate. The result? He didn't just feel calmer, he felt like himself again. Like a fog had lifted. This, my friends, is one of the most overlooked life lessons from the elderly. Emotional resilience is not just about toughing it out, it's about giving your brain the physical ingredients it needs to stabilize your mood, to anchor your spirit when the winds of life get rough. Elderly reflections like Peter's show us that inspiration doesn't always come from grand gestures. Sometimes it's the quiet work of choosing a handful of almonds over a sugary cookie that changes your whole day, and maybe your whole outlook. Now, maybe you're listening to this and thinking, well, my hair's been thinning for years. Or sure, I get tired and cranky sometimes. Doesn't everybody? And you're right, these changes alone don't diagnose a problem. But when they pile up together, that's when your body might be telling you something louder than words. That's when senior health isn't about chasing youth, it's about respecting the needs of the body you've lived a lifetime in. It's about living smarter, not harder. And let's not forget, addressing these signs early can mean staying independent longer, needing fewer medications, visiting doctors less often, and spending more days living fully rather than managing avoidable setbacks. Motivation isn't about chasing perfection. It's about choosing to care today, so tomorrow feels a little lighter, a little freer, a little more yours. Let me ask you again, where are you tuning in from today? Is it a small town in Canada? A cozy neighborhood in England? A sunny spot in Florida? Wherever you are, your story matters. Your choices matter. Elderly wisdom tells us that it's never too late to rewrite your story, starting with the foods on your plate, the way you listen to your body, and the love you give yourself through your daily habits. Before we dive deeper, where we'll reveal the final 2 body signs, including one that could silently be warning you about your heart health. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell. This isn't just another health video. This is a movement, a community, a gathering of those who believe in life lessons from the elderly, in senior inspiration, in the quiet but mighty art of choosing better every day. Stay with me. The next insight might just be the most crucial one so far. There's something about the quiet moments after 60 that invites deeper reflection, don't you think? Maybe it's the stillness in the mornings when the house feels larger than it used to. Maybe it's the way the sunset colors seem just a little more vivid than before. Or maybe it's the way your body speaks to you, not in shouts, but in gentle taps on the shoulder, whispering, "Take care of me." Up to now, we've explored signs like fatigue, slow healing, brittle nails, and mood swings. Subtle ways your body might be calling out for better nourishment. Now it's time to uncover two signs that reach even deeper beneath the surface. Two signs that, if ignored, can quietly erode your independence, your sharpness, even your freedom. First, let's talk about digestive problems. The bloating, the constipation, the feeling that your stomach just doesn't process food the way it used to. Many seniors think this is just a part of aging, but truthfully, it's often a flashing red light about your gut health. Meet Barbara, a 77-year-old former artist from Maine. Barbara had always been a healthy eater, or so she thought. Lots of toast, crackers, coffee, and the occasional fruit. But over time, her digestion worsened. She chalked it up to age, until one evening she ended up in the hospital with severe dehydration caused by untreated constipation. That was her wake-up call. When she sat down with a nutritionist, she learned that aging guts need fiber, hydration, and probiotics more than ever. Not just a sprinkle here and there, but consistent daily care. Barbara revamped her meals. Berries in the morning, leafy greens at lunch, whole grains instead of processed carbs, and a daily dose of Greek yogurt for probiotics. The results? Night and day. She started feeling lighter, less bloated, more energetic. Her skin even glowed brighter. She said it felt like she was giving her body back its rhythm. And that's elderly wisdom in action. The gut isn't just about digestion. It's deeply connected to brain function, immune health, even emotional balance. That's why senior health isn't just about what you eat. It's about how your body processes and uses it. Now, the second and perhaps most critical sign, shortness of breath or heart palpitations after simple activities. Listen carefully. If tying your shoes, climbing a few stairs, or carrying groceries leaves you feeling winded or dizzy, that's not just age. That's your body waving a flag, urgently asking for help. And often, poor nutrition plays a bigger role than you realize. I want to tell you about George, an 82-year-old former firefighter from Oregon. George was tough, the kind of man who never asked for help, who spent his whole life serving others. But at 81, he noticed something troubling. After mowing a small patch of lawn, he'd need to sit down. His heart would flutter oddly, and he'd catch himself gasping for breath. His first thought? I'm just getting old. But his daughter, a nurse, pushed him to get checked. His labs came back showing not just mild heart strain, but significant electrolyte imbalances. Low magnesium, low potassium, all traceable back to a diet of convenience foods. Canned soups, boxed meals, salty snacks. George didn't need more pills. He needed real food. His daughter helped him build a simple routine. One banana every morning for potassium, a spinach salad every afternoon for magnesium, a handful of unsalted nuts for healthy fats. It wasn't complicated, but it was consistent. Within months. His heart rate stabilized, his energy improved. He even started walking daily again, proudly texting his granddaughter his step counts. That's the heart of elderly reflections. Learning, adapting, never surrendering to decline when better choices can build new strength. Now, maybe you're hearing all these stories and thinking, it's too late for me. I've been eating this way for years. Let me tell you something, it's never too late. The human body, especially after 60, is more resilient than anyone gives it credit for. Studies show that even seniors in their 80s and 90s can significantly improve muscle mass, balance, cognitive sharpness, and heart health just by improving their nutrition. That's the raw, beautiful truth. That's motivation worth holding on to. Because here's the real inspiration. It's not about adding 20 years to your life. It's about adding life to your next 20 years. It's about feeling strong enough to garden again, sharp enough to laugh through crossword puzzles with your grandkids, confident enough to travel, to dance, to live without fear of a fall or a forgotten name. Life lessons from the elderly remind us, aging is not defeat. Aging is a new art form, and nourishment is one of your finest tools. As we wrap up, let's quickly review the 6 signs we talked about. Unshakable fatigue, slow healing, brittle nails and thinning hair, unexplained mood swings, persistent digestive issues, and shortness of breath with light activity. Any one of these could be your body's way of asking for help, but together, they're a message, a plea, an opportunity. Now tell me in the comments, where are you watching from today? The United States? Canada? The United Kingdom? Maybe Australia? Or somewhere else around this big, beautiful world? Your voice matters here. Your experiences, your reflections, your hopes for tomorrow, they all belong in this conversation. And if this video resonated with you even a little, take a second to like it, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and tap that bell icon so you never miss a new episode. We are building more than a channel. We are building a movement of inspiration, of motivation, of honoring the elderly wisdom that our fast world so often forgets. Because no matter your age, 60, 70, 80 or more, your best chapters may still be ahead. The way you eat tonight, the choices you make tomorrow, the care you give yourself next week, all of it shapes the story you're writing. And trust me, your story is still worth telling. Here's to your heart, here's to your spirit. Here's to the powerful, quiet strength that lives inside you, waiting, always, to rise.